All right, everyone. So today I wanted to share with you guys some really important info that's going to save you billions of silver over the course of playing Black Desert Online on an incredibly useful item that you end up getting from world bosses. And this has to be one of the more underappreciated drops from world bosses. I'm talking, of course, about these magical black stones. And I'll tell you that if you end up killing a world boss and you end up getting some of these stones, especially one or two of these yellow pure magical black stones, that's a pretty good world boss kill. These stones are probably worth anywhere from 5 to 10 million or so silver, depending on how you value not only silver, but also your own time and sanity, because very importantly, these stones are going to make your life a lot easier when it comes to upgrading base equipment. I'm talking about the levels 0 all the way through 15 and to pry, and that is a very painful process. Even for somebody like me who enhances all day long, it is a very tedious process that requires lots of steps, lots of different calculations and different fail stack levels, and it's just a big mess and a big headache for a lot of players. So having these stones is going to make your life a whole lot easier, and at the same time, it's going to save you a big chunk of silver. So, I mean, it's very well possible that if you absolutely hate doing that and working on base items, you might even value these at higher than 10 million silver each because of just the amount of headache that it's going to save you. So nonetheless, these are incredibly valuable. The yellow ones are by far going to be the most valuable because these are going to be used for boss gear, which is your yellow gear, but don't discount the blue and the green ones as well. These ones are still pretty darn useful, and they're also going to save you a good chunk of silver. So absolutely make sure that you don't vendor these. I know as a super new player, it might be tempting. 50,000 silver each, 100,000 and 500,000 for the yellow. I can tell you that all three of the stones are going to be worth quite a bit more than that each if you just know how to use them properly. But that's very important, is there's actually ways to use these stones inefficiently, using them at the wrong levels, and that's going to cause you to not get as much silver out of them as you hopefully should be able to. So I'll tell you guys at a quick glance here, and I'm not going to get super crazy in detail here into the math and calculations as to why, because I feel like that's probably just going to confuse people even more. But I'll tell you that for the yellow ones, which is the pure magical black stones, it is the last of these three options. The last level, plus 15, which is going to be from the plus 14 level to the plus 15 level, that's going to be the absolute best use of these stones by far. It beats the other two options, plus 13, plus 14, so that would be plus 12 to plus 13, and plus 13 to plus 14. It beats those options by a long shot. And I know it's the most expensive one. It costs 13 of these stones, but that is absolutely the way to go if you want to get the most efficiency out of your stones. Now, if you're really just looking to save time and you absolutely hate enhancing and you want to get through this process as quickly as you possibly can, it's okay to do the other levels. It's totally fine, but it's really important to know that if you're looking at it from an efficiency standpoint, the last level is the one that you're going to end up getting the most value from by far. And it has to do with the very key point here that a lot of people kind of skip over when it comes to thinking about these stones that really influences these calculations by quite a bit. And that is the fact that these stones still do actually use durability. So like when it comes to upgrading boss gear, of course, when you fail going from level 0 to 15, it's going to take 5 durability loss, and the actual chance to succeed in those last levels, they're pretty darn low. I don't want to get too into detail with this, but I'll just show you guys a chart. You can see here that the last couple of levels, even with really high fail stacks, like if you get your fail stacks to 30 to 40, which is generally where you're looking for going through boss gear, the base versions at that point, that's a whole separate video I could talk about on its own. So I really don't want to get too in detail here, but even then you're still looking at like single digit % chances to succeed. So that's a lot of clicks that you're going to fail and a lot of durability loss that you're going to eat away. And that's a lot of memory fragments. So every single click that you fail on base boss gear while working on it is going to cost you anywhere from like 8 to 15 million silver per click, depending on how expensive memory fragments are in the region that you play. So case in point, it's very expensive. These stones are going to end up saving you a lot of silver, a lot of headache, frustration, but you do have to keep in mind that they still do take 30 durability in order to actually use these stones. Now, why is that important? Well, it's really important because it takes that 30 durability regardless of whether you're using it for the plus 13 level, the plus 14 level, or the plus 15 level. And I'll tell you that if you go back here once again and actually take a look and see at what the chances to succeed at are those different levels, even if you use a really high fail stack, the very last level, there's really no way around like eating up less than like 50, 60 durability on average. Now, you could get lucky, of course, but we're really talking about averages and all that sort of stuff. With the earlier levels, though, like the plus 13 to plus 14, it still uses 30 durability, the stone. And even if you use like a fail stack of like 30 to 35, which is around what you want to be using for those levels, it's not going to actually end up using a whole lot more than 30 durability, even if you decide not to use the stones. So, I mean, in a sense, it's like the stones kind of break even for your durability loss for like the plus 13 level, but it saves you a 30 stack, and it might save you a bit of headache and frustration. But for the last level, not only does it save you a 30 or even a 40 stack, but it's going to save you a lot more durability loss, like an extra 30 to 40 durability loss, which is going to end up being, you know, like 80, 100, 100 plus million silver, depending on the region that you're in. And it's going to save you even bigger of a headache. And again, this is not something I want to get super in detailed with in a video like this. You guys are just going to have to trust me that I've gone through the math and the numbers behind all this stuff. But the math works out very, very well for that last level and the amount of silver that it saves you. And it's still okay-ish for the, you know, middle level. But the first level, which is the plus 13, like generally speaking, not really going to end up being the absolute best. But it does take less stones. So I completely understand, like, if you do want to end up using these stones for all 3 levels, like, it's okay. If you absolutely hate enhancing, you despise it, you despise leveling boss gear from 0 to 15, like, that's okay. But if you're looking for absolute efficiency and really getting the absolute most out of these stones, you want to try to save them for that very last level. Another important thing here is a thing that a lot of people do, and I generally don't recommend this if you do a lot of enhancing because it's never really the optimal play. And that is force enhancing. And if you do force enhance, which I know, even though it might not necessarily be the optimal play, I know a lot of people still force enhance those last couple of levels. You can see that this chart right here, if you look at the plus 13, the 14, and the 15, it's the second to last row there. You can see how much durability a force enhance uses. And the last level uses 100 durability loss for a force enhance. So it'll fully drain the durability of a piece of equipment, whereas the 14 level only uses 70. And the 13 level only uses 60. Now, keep in mind that the stones still use 30 on each level no matter what. So if you were to force enhance as well, on that very last level, it saves you the difference between 100 durability and 30 durability, which is how much the stones use anyway, so 70 durability. But then going backwards to the previous levels, it's 70 durability to force enhance. The stones cost 30 anyway, so it only saves you 40 durability loss. And then the level behind that, the stones use 30 durability, the force enhance uses 60, so it only saves you 30. So you can see that even if you go with the force enhance plan, it really does work out all the math, all the numbers. It works out to the last level being the one that is going to be the most efficient. So that's those. These stones are very, very valuable. Do not have these go to waste. Make sure that you are absolutely using these on good boss gear, and they are going to save you an insane amount of silver, headache, time, frustration, and they are a good drop to get. If you do a boss kill and you end up getting a couple of these, like even if you don't get the nightmare boxes or whatnot, like that's a good kill because these are definitely worth it. Now, a couple of little notes here about the other ones because these ones here, a lot of people cast aside as basically worthless, but they're not worthless. They still have value. Obviously not going to be as much value as the yellow stones, but they're exactly the same item here. You've got the, the pure magical stones for the yellow, which is boss gear. You've got the cleansed magical stones, which is the blue stones for blue gear. And then you've got the green stones, which are going to be for green gear, the stabilized magical black stones. Now, they work exactly the same. All 3 stones work exactly the same. The only difference is, obviously, the yellow ones are for yellow gear, the blue ones for blue gear, and the green ones are for green gear. And keep in mind as well, you can see that the able to enhance, you can see all the different slots that you can enhance it. And also, it does not work on life skill gear. These will not work on Black Star as well. So the yellow ones, just a note, Black Star gear is not actually yellow grade gear. It is red grade gear. So unfortunately, no luck for that there. But the blue and the green stones still actually have quite a bit of value. Don't let them go to waste. And I'll tell you that you can get a reasonably good understanding for the value of these by a little bit of a trick that I'll show you guys on the market. And this will kind of tell you about what they are worth. So what these stones do is they get you through levels 12 to 13, 13 to 14, and 14 to 15. So let's just say for blue gear here, let's actually do green gear first as an example because we can use the item that I've used as an example in many of my videos now, and let's just go with like Grunel helmets. So if we go to Grunel helmets, these stones will get you through those 3 levels, and what you can do to take a look at the price of like buying an item right at the level that you could start to use the stones at is you can go to this one right here, like the 10 to 12 one, and then simply like go to the select enhancement level, go to 12, and this would be the one that you would buy if you wanted to bypass all the enhancement before the point that you can start using the stones. So you can see that for like a Grunel helmet, it would cost me 9 million silver. Now, how much value and what do you get out of that? Well, what you can do now is you can end up going to the market and you can go to like the plus 13 to plus 15 category, and you can then go, and if there's an item there, it doesn't look like there is, you could do the exact same thing that we did for the plus 10 to 12 and just click up to plus 15 and take a look at the price and what the difference is. And you can see already that even though this one is for the plus 13 one, so the plus 15 one's probably going to be another 5 to 7 billion silver. You can see that those green stones, even if you go with all three of them and you do plus 12 to plus 13, 13 to 14, and 14 to 15, if you use 26 green stones, it's going to save you something like 20 or so million silver there. So that's about the value of them for, you know, using them on Grunels. Now, you will have to also use 90 durability loss because all of these stones use 30 durability loss per enhancement difficulty level. So keep that in mind, but nonetheless, it does save you a decent chunk of silver, and they are absolutely not worthless. So you could do that for all of the different green items, any of the green items that you actually want here. So this one we can also do as an example. So like for this item here, at plus 12, it would cost us 4 million silver. If we go here, you can see that at plus 15, 20 million silver. So like roughly 15 million silver is basically what we would save for that. But also then the durability loss, which we would also have to recover. So I think you get the point there for green items. For the blue items, it's a little bit different. It works exactly the same, of course, but what you would do is, because blue items have a bit different of an enhancement path, like the chance to succeed is going to be different at the different levels. What you would do is you would go to like the plus 12 one, just like you would to start off. You'd see like what it would cost you, you know, like 16 million silver. And then you would take a look at what the price is for a plus 15 helmet, because you can't do the 13, 14, and 15 all at once. So it's just going to be there right for you to see. So you could see 60 million silver, you know, like 16 million silver. Like that's a pretty big difference in price there. So we're going from 16 million to 60 million silver. Obviously, we need to buy like, you know, 9 of these helmets to repair. So that's going to subtract the actual price that we ended up getting by, you know, 10 million or so. That's going to subtract what we would get. But nonetheless, you're still looking at, you know, 45 million minus the 10 million, 35 million. If you were to sell it, I would actually probably try to get it up to Pry before you do. That's a very easy level. So plus 15 is never really the best level to measure value at, because, you know, going from plus 15 to Pry is really not too difficult. And you generally will always get value for that level if you're looking at market prices. So nonetheless, they're not worthless. They are worth a lot more than the vendor price, and it's really up to you. Like, there's no one particular item for the greens and the blues that it's going to be worth using on. It's really about what do you need, what are you looking for, is there any greens or blues that you are personally working on, or if you are looking to sell for profit, what's really going to be selling for the most, and going through and kind of doing that little trick, what's going to end up getting you the most value for your stones that you have. So a lot of the time for greens, that's going to be an item like Grunels, Heaves, or one of these other things that you could see that is the base items are going to be like 500,000 to 1 million. A general rule of thumb for these is the stones are going to be more valuable the more valuable the base item is going to actually cost. So you can kind of go with that. I think I gave you guys enough information to work with in this video. I don't want to have it be too much longer, but these stones will save you a ton of money over the course of playing the game. So make sure that when you guys are doing your world boss kills and when you're actually collecting these, I believe you can actually get a couple of them from the main storyline as well. You put them to really good use. You use them optimally, and they're going to save you not only a lot of silver, but a ton of headache with enhancing as well. So with that being said, that's going to be about it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope it helped out. If you did enjoy and it helped out and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. I try to put videos out as much as I can, but I don't really want to just put videos out for the sake of putting videos out, so I always wait until I have something I think important and helpful to talk about. But what I do consistently is streaming. So if you guys haven't already, check out the Twitch stream. I do all my enhancing there. You know, tens of billions of silver a day, like no joke, tens of billions of silver a day of enhancing. We're at 500 plus pen attempts, 20 plus pen items made in the last month or so. It's been crazy. And if you guys are interested, it's twitch.tv/salt, link in the description. That's it for now. Take care, everyone. And until next time.